Good morning. Welcome and happy Easter. How delightful to look out there and see all of you this morning. And welcome to those of you who are here with us online. We're glad that you're with us on this Easter morning. I'm Reverend Mary Marie Shelton. I'm the community spiritual leader here at Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. Delighted that you're all here. Now, one of the things that we do at the beginning of our service always is to make sure that everybody gets welcomed. So I'm going to have you stand up, walk around, introduce yourselves to people you don't know, welcome back those you haven't seen in a while. Make sure that you engage in the welcoming one way or another. And those of you at home do this as well. If you're with others, give each other a hug. If you're on your own, get yourself another cup of coffee. We'll be right back in just a minute to sing the opening song. So please settle in, get ready for a great morning. Hey, good morning. All right. Finish up with the person you're talking to and grab a seat. All right, folks, come on back. It's always good to know you're glad to see each other. But come on back and find your seats now. All right, everybody just settle. That was a really good welcome. Give yourselves a hand. Nice job. Now, if you weren't welcomed, it wasn't anything we did, so we're just glad you're here. Everybody come on in and sit down. Welcome back. Those of you we haven't seen in a while, we're glad that you're here. As we celebrate Easter today, we're also celebrating the 42nd anniversary of Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. Yeah. We're celebrating it today, and our founding minister, Reverend Dr. Lloyd George Tupper, I talked to him yesterday, and he said to tell you, thank you, Coco. He said to tell you, tell them I'm not finished yet, and he's working on preparing a class that he would like to offer with us. So we may be seeing him. I don't know how soon that will be, but that's just great. And I also want to say before we launch into this morning that for those of you that have been around for a while, I know that you know this gentleman. It is Jerry Haas' 88th birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jerry. Happy birthday to you. It's not every day you have your 88th birthday. Good to have it acknowledged, it seems to me. Yes. So we've done our good mornings, we've done our introductions, and now we're going to sing together. So we have Jai Josephs here this morning with his band, and Jai's life purpose has been to make conscious music more professional and more conscious. He is the songwriter who wrote I Love Myself the Way I Am, and so he's famous for that. He has more than 80 songs recorded on MCA, RCA, Motown, Disney, and it's been used, all his music has been used by artists like Jose Feliciano and Pam Tillis, and his songs have been used in TV shows on every major network and more than a dozen movies. So this is a big deal, yes. And yes. Now you can get on Jai's mailing list. It's back on the activity table back here behind this section. But he is known in metaphysical circles for I Love Myself the Way I Am. And he's contributed musically to Ken Keyes, Louise Hay, and many New Thought churches, Marion Williamson. He's retired from composing, but he lives here in Marin County now, performing at local venues, kind of with this jazz and rock quartet who you met a little while ago, and they're going to be with us this whole morning. So, right now, I want to invite you to stand and join us. We're singing a song called Forgiven, and you're going to see the words right up here on the screen. So here we go. I put forgiveness, but it's called Forgiven. Forgive me.
Guys ready? Every moment we are living exactly what we need. Every day we are forgiven and given a chance to be set free.
Again.
Every moment we are living exactly what we need. Every day we are forgiven and given a chance to be set free. Every moment we are living exactly what we need. Every day we are forgiven and given a chance to be set free. It's a no-lose situation, 'cause we're loved behind it all. We don't need to seek salvation, 'cause there's no way we can ever fall. Every moment we are living exactly what we need. Every day we are forgiven and given a chance to be set free. Every moment we are living exactly what we need. Every day we are forgiven and given a chance to be set free. In the dance of our illusion, as we ride upon that wheel, in the midst of our confusion, we can stop and know that only love is real. Every moment we are living exactly what we need. Every day we are forgiven and given a chance to be set free. Every moment we are living exactly what we need. Every day we are forgiven and given a chance to be set free. Every moment we are living exactly what we need. Every day we are forgiven and given a chance to be set free.
Yes. Thank you, guys. It's great. Appreciate that. All right, now this is the time to go ahead and silence your cell phone, because we're going to tune within now that we've sung together and greeted one another and heard a little wonderful music. Now it's time to turn within and let ourselves come to center. So as we do that, see if as you close your eyes and move within that you open your heart to this opening prayer by prayer practitioner Posey Lyon. Come on up here if you can. Can you step up? Yeah. Woohoo!
Oh, thank you for that love. And I invite you into the love and the stillness in your own heart, to go within to that silence, that stillness where God resides. And so in this moment, I recognize that there truly is only one life, one indivisible presence that was never born, can never die. It is at the center of my being, and everywhere. It is in everything. There is no God and anything. Everything is within source. It is creating constantly out of itself to experience more of itself. And I am made up out of that deliciousness, just as is everyone in this room and beyond. Each one of us is the beloved place where God shows up to experience itself uniquely as each one. And so I claim for each of us that opening to experience that oneness as never before. I claim that any doubt, any fear, any false attitude, any false belief, any block known or unknown is permanently eradicated, returned to the nothingness from which it came, and instead I claim for each one that their heart opens up to allow ever more life, the fullest expression of life that they've ever experienced, as wholeness, as joy, as abundance, whatever it is that any heart is yearning for. It's already present if we simply say yes to it. So I claim that opening to allow that yes to pour forth, to allow more God, more good than ever before, and I give thanks for it, knowing it's already done as I return it to the law that knows exactly what to do with this word. I don't have to know how, nor does anyone listening have to know how. It's done. It's done. And so as we celebrate this time of renewal and resurrection, I claim that resurrection in each life here to allow that newness as never before. And I say, yea and amen, and so it is. Blessed
So it is. Thank you, Posey. Knock it down. Yeah. Is this enough? Okay, there you go.
And you know what? It's done. It's done. It's done in this very moment. The birds are singing in the trees. Whoa. The wind is blowing soft and sweet. Oh. In each moment you can see life divine. And in each moment you can see the light shine. In this very moment is all the love we need. In this very moment is truth and grace and peace. In this very moment, Sometimes your feelings get you down. Oh, your mind can't find any way out. Oh, but can't you see it's just the future you fear? So take a breath and bring yourself right here. 'Cause in this very moment is all the love we need. In this very moment is truth and grace and peace. In this very moment. Right now, the world is wonderful.
Wonderful.
So breathe in,
Breathe out.
breathe in,
Breathe out.
until you tune into the miracle that in this very moment is all the love we need. In this very moment is truth and grace and peace. In this very moment, in this very moment.
Yeah, in this very moment. That's perfect. It fits right in with what I'm going to talk about today. Love it how the universe works. So we're talking about rising higher and growing deeper throughout this year. And this month, being April, we're talking about renewal and rebirth. That makes sense. This morning being Easter, we're talking about rising higher. Now, last week I talked about growing deeper and how growing deeper reminds us of our deep connection with each other, that we have a connection with each other that is in the present moment beyond words. And the only way that we meet it and discover it and experience it is in the present moment. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said the ability to experience reality can only be acquired now, never later. So we can't put off that encounter with reality if we're present in the moment. And most of the time, I think, most people aren't. Most of the time we appear to be here, but our minds are not here. We may be focused partly on the moment, but we're also thinking about something that happened before and trying to figure it out. Or we're thinking about something that we're planning or that might happen, that we're looking forward to or we're worried about. So we have our minds split off into these different things. while we're standing right there. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody, but you know they're not there? Even though they're standing in front of you, you know. I mean, we can have conversations with disembodied, you know, entities sometimes too, but I'm really talking about somebody who's standing with you, but they're not there. Or you can see that they're really not listening to you, even though you may be trying to tell them something. Yeah, you ever catch yourself doing that? Where you have to say, wait a minute, wait, I was distracted. I was thinking about something else right then. Tell me that again, so that we can refocus our attention to the person that we're with in the present moment as our way of honoring that soul, that being. And that's really important for us. So rising higher is taking those deep connections that we have with each other and moving them onward into the connections that we have with everything that's living on this planet. Every person, every stone, every plant, every animal. The deep connections we have with all of that and with the universe. As we begin to lift our consciousness out of the everyday, we are invited then to consider bringing love to the moment that we're in. And I was thinking about that this morning because I had so many things to remember and I was feeling stressed and squeezed and a little anxious. It's Easter, oh my God, all of that. And then it occurred to me, oh, I see. Well, maybe this is a factor of being the age that I am in this body, that this body is moving itself in a direction of being a little anxious about everything that's coming. But as long as I know that and can offer love to this embodiment, perhaps I can know something that's at a higher level of consciousness than what my body is vibrating in the moment. And when I do that, to the degree that I'm able to do it, it begins to lift my sense of what I'm feeling, what I'm looking forward to. Is this making sense, what I'm saying? You follow me? So very often we can be trying to find our way back to the very moment because this is where we encounter the sacred. We rise higher when we recognize that we're in the presence of the sacred. But the truth is we really always are, because there's nowhere else to go. When we talk about an omnipresent, infinite being, it's not missing the moment. It's right there. That presence is right there all the time with us. So one Easter morning, a woman was making her way to church and her car wouldn't start. And you know how that is, you get a little anxious. So she called for an Uber so she could get a ride because she didn't want to be late for this special service. And halfway through the ride, she asked the driver a question, which he apparently didn't hear, so he didn't respond. And so she leaned forward and tapped him on the arm. And the driver let out a loud scream and swerved into the other lane, almost hit another car, slammed on the brakes and skidded over into the shoulder. And she said, at first, there was no sound. Everybody was just in shock, about this. And they just sat there for a minute. And finally, she said to him, wow, I'm so sorry. I had no idea tapping your shoulder would alarm you like that. He said, oh, no, ma'am, it's not your fault. He said, this is my first day driving an Uber. For the past 25 years, I drove a hearse. Not quite meeting the present moment. He was kind of, back here, not really expecting to be interacted with by the passenger who was behind him. So when we come into the present moment, then we're with all the pieces of it that are happening, right here and now. And we know that we bring into the present moment all that stuff that happened before in our three-dimensional idea of time and space, yeah? So we are coming into today now, Easter. It's also the last day of Passover. Tuesday is Earth Day, and we're celebrating our 42nd anniversary as a center today. And our anniversary is actually April 3rd, but we always put it on Easter because it wasn't Easter Sunday back then. So Easter is our official anniversary, but we're actually 42 years and a few days past our actual anniversary. We are today then celebrating the remembrance of miracles. So as this is the last day of Passover, the remembrance is of a miraculous experience of freedom, of being set free from being under the thumb, being in bondage. And the celebration that people do each year during Passover is to remember that process of being set free and look at their own lives and setting themselves free once again in this process. So we too are invited into this celebration of freedom. In what ways are we stuck that we want to free ourselves from? We're also remembering Easter, which is a recognition of a miracle in the Christian tradition of the risen Jesus, the political prisoner who was executed and died, was taken out of his Passover celebration, right? They arrested him at home or in this upper room that they had rented for their Passover celebration. He was arrested there. He was questioned. He was sent here. He was sent there. He was tortured. He was made fun of. He was ridiculed. And then he was meant to carry his own cross for his execution, which was a big, heavy thing, to carry that up to where the execution was going to take place. And he kept falling. So they pressed a guy into service from the crowd. They just grabbed a guy and had him carry it. Then he was executed. He was executed because well, we are talking about resurrection, so you just never know. I'll try to give you fair warning if I feel myself rising, but the recognition of this miraculous return, this energetic beingness in returning and coming back, and the upshot of it is supposed to be that we therefore are all forgiven. We're forgiven in advance, kind of, for all the dumb stuff we've ever done or might do in the future. We're forgiven. Now that should be a kind of a load off rather than an invitation to go out and get wild, you know. The recognition that, yes, we have done some stuff that we're not overly proud of, but Easter is a recognition of being forgiven, of being loved so much that no matter what you do, you are loved. Now, some people who have had near-death experiences or people who are in the mystic tradition, regardless of their faith or denomination, will say that the truth is that we are infinitely cherished and loved all the time, no matter what, and that we can't do anything wrong. Not really. If we're a manifestation of something infinite, and the whole universe is a manifestation of that, if we speak about omnipresence, the whole universe is a manifestation of the infinite, then the infinite continues even if the universe doesn't. The infinite that we are continues no matter what form looks like. But we get to come here into form as an opportunity to play and to learn and to experience. And we're doing all of that, even the stuff that we kind of regret or wish we hadn't done. You know, Tony Robbins and other wise people have said that wisdom is the result of, or good decisions lead us to wisdom, but good decisions are generally the result of experience. And experience is generally the result of bad decisions. The way that we've learned, the way we've gone forward is to discover what didn't work or what worked really well and make adjustments accordingly, yeah? So this idea of being forgiven is actually, in metaphysical terms, is actually the recognition that we never did anything that we need to be forgiven for. Because in the wholeness of the universe, we are whole at every moment, even when we don't understand and we're doing stuff that's a learning experience, okay? So we've got these things happening, Passover and Easter. Then we have Earth Day coming up on Tuesday. And Earth Day is a miracle of awareness. that we are sentient, conscious, self-aware beings. That's a miracle. There's been life on this planet for billions of years, but it's only fairly recently that it began to become aware of itself. Now, it's interesting, when I look at our cats and their behavior, there are moments when they are somewhat aware of themselves, not in the same way that we are necessarily. I mean, my cat who loves to play, she knows when it's the time of day that we're supposed to play with her. And she will come and meow at us and let us know that the time has come. She knows exactly, this is the time. When you do this every day, then we do this. You're doing that, therefore I'm reminding you, this is next. She's aware of her desire to do that. She's aware of her desire to lay on my lap or lay on top of Amanda or go eat. So both of our cats, they know how to follow their inner cues, right? And so there is this awareness that exists in them. But the tulips that are over here on the tables, I got those on like Thursday or Friday. And so I put them in the vases, I trimmed them, I put them in the vases, and I put them in a closet because I didn't want them to open up too much before Easter Sunday. And they look pretty good, but if you look at them, you'll notice that their leaves are not as dark green as they would have been if they'd been out in the light. They know the difference, even though there's no more roots on those flowers. Still, some of them actually turned toward the closet door for that little bit of light coming out underneath it. They're still aware of where it is. That's a miracle. That's amazing to me that we know that plants and animals and people have this self-awareness, but what about this room? What about these lights? What about this phone? We don't think of those as having awareness, but in mystic traditions, everything has awareness, and the way that we interact with it affects how it interacts with us. I know that's a little woo-woo, but it is Easter after all, so stick with me here. The fourth thing that we're honoring and remembering today is 42 years of Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. It's kind of a miracle that we have the blessing to be part of a spiritual teaching that is living at the same time that physics, quantum physics and science is demonstrating the truth of ancient wisdom and new thought teaching. Those things that were thought to be, too woo-woo to be looked at or believed in because they're not the five senses. Quantum physics is taking scientists beyond that. And they're discovering that there's stuff that they can't explain, but it is happening. They can measure it, they can discover it. So some of the things that ancient civilizations and mystics have taught, science is now finding its way into and going, oh, this is true. Meanwhile, the old ones are going, well, yeah, right? And those of us in New Thought who've always been intrigued by this kind of thinking but couldn't explain why, we're seeing quantum physics touching on things that we've been teaching since the 1920s or even longer. So we're in this experience right now. Sylvia Hayes says, Easter is every moment that you choose to step into the truth of you. So the truth of us that we step into this morning is that infinite presence that created those experiences that led to freedom for the Israeli Jewish people, the miracle that we've taken from the crucifixion and the resurrection into our own lives of forgiveness, the recognition of the gift of awareness, and the recognition of the gift of a place to come to that actually believes this stuff and teaches it and has been teaching it. All of that is a miracle for us to celebrate. Now, one of the ways I wanted to celebrate this today is by acknowledging some of the wonderful things that have happened right here at GGCSL. Like, for example, I know that Jerry and Christina met here. And there may be, how many? 29 years ago. And we don't know how many other couples may have met because of Golden Gate who are here or not here today. So I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Now, if you are from Golden Gate and you've been around long enough for this to apply, think about a wonderful experience, discovery, unfoldment, freeing idea. Think of some experience you've had at Golden Gate that's really meaningful to you. And if you're not from Golden Gate, think of an experience you've had that's really meaningful to you. Think about it in terms of someone that you love very much. Think of someone at Golden Gate that you love very much. Now, open your eyes and turn to somebody near you and just share that experience with them very briefly. The Reader's Digest version, right? One paragraph. Share that with the person next to you, either the memory that you had of someone that you love very much, or a memory that you had here at Golden Gate. Share that with someone near you. Now, this is important. This is not time to be a spectator. Please participate. Please participate. So find somebody you can share that with. Yes, make sure you shift to the other person now if you haven't done that yet. All right, thank you. You can finish that with your person later if you didn't get through the whole thing. But here's what I want to tell you. When you think of someone that you love, or when you think of a wonderful experience that gives you the warm fuzzies, everybody knows what that is. Certain Hallmark commercials give you the warm fuzzies, but this is like, what is a real life experience of having the warm fuzzies? Emma Curtis Hopkins, our founder, Ernest Holmes, was her last private student. She was a mystic and a Christian Science practitioner who had gone on to take her own teaching forward from there. And she ordained many ministers, and most of the early New Thought ministers credit their unfoldment into what they did with her. She said, in a book called The Resurrection, she said, there is one indestructible substance permeating all things, from the remotest star to the nearest dust particle. This substance is finer than any substance cognized by the senses. It is finer than the attraction of gravitation, cohesion, disintegration. It can only be cognized by the mind. It can only be handled by the thoughts of the mind, and only the understanding power of the mind can make it useful. We have within us, and this is demonstrated in so many experiments in so many ways, we have a mind that affects our bodies. If you take a group of people, this is a recent example I heard about, a group of people and had them play 5 notes on the piano, just with 5 fingers, 5 notes on the piano, over and over and over again for 5 days. Then when you do a brain scan, you can see that that part of the brain is getting bigger. Just from that exercise, the brain has to respond to that physical exercise. The amazing thing is that the other group did not do that on the piano. They just imagined it. And they played the 5 notes up and down with their hand, one hand, for that same number of days, for the same amount of time, which is a significant amount of time. It's not they do it once or twice and then let it go. They actually practice that over and over again in their mind's eye. And when their brain is scanned, that same part of the brain has gotten just as big, the related part of the brain, as the people who did the physical exercise. Your mind, imagining it, had the same effect on your body as if you had actually done it. So the mind has an effect on the body. When you think of someone that you love, someone that you feel tenderness and warm fuzzies toward, when you think of them, you are choosing a particular direction for your mind to go. You are choosing to put your mind on love and gratitude and joy and kindness. And as you do that, your brain does something very interesting. It releases a hormone called oxytocin. And when oxytocin is created and released into the body from the brain, it does a couple of miraculous things. The first thing it does is it enlarges the blood vessels, which makes it easier for the heart to pump blood through them, so it lowers your blood pressure. The other thing that oxytocin does is it goes into your blood vessels and starts to clean out the crud. It starts to clean out inflammation and free radicals that cause aging and other things. It starts to clear that right out of your system. So the more we take a moment, or 5 or 10 minutes, every single day, to put our mind in a position to think about what we love and who we love, what gives us joy, what beauty, what music, what art uplifts our hearts, we are literally doing something to benefit our own health and our own bodies. We are already having an experience that changes our health just by what we're thinking of. Deepak Chopra said once that by the time you realize you're thirsty, every cell in your body is communicating that it's thirsty. Your whole body is thinking that thought at the same time. Now, beyond that, what we recognize too is that the mind and the brain are not the same thing. The brain, we know where it lives, but scientists have not been able to locate the mind in the brain because it appears the mind encloses all of it. So now, have you ever been to, how many of you have been to the Eiffel Tower? And oh, most everybody almost, yeah. And have you ridden up in the elevator and looked at the view from the observation tower up there? Okay, now I want you to close your eyes for a minute and think back to when you were on the Eiffel Tower. What kind of day was it? What could you hear? What did you see? All right, now come back. In that moment, we all did a little bit of astral travel. We just took ourselves to the Eiffel Tower and had an experience of what we think of as a memory. But actually, you might never have been there. But when you think about it in your mind, it seems like a memory, as if you had been there. Who knows if you were really there or not? But in this moment, you can go there. Or you could go to a beautiful beach in Hawaii. How many of you been to a beautiful beach in Hawaii? All right. So now close your eyes and imagine you're there. What do you hear? What do you feel in the air, under your feet? What do you see? All right, you can open your eyes again. When we take these moments where we allow ourselves to go someplace, we're actually opening up a greater experience, because one of the things that science has demonstrated, and that 5-finger exercise shows too, is that the mind, the brain and the mind, do not distinguish between an actual event and an imagined one. This is why projection is so uncomfortable, because we're assuming somebody has a particular attitude toward us, or they're doing something, or they're intending something. And so the effect it has on us is just as if they were doing that, but maybe they're not. Maybe we're projecting something on them that isn't really coming from them. Anybody ever say to you, why do you treat me like blah, blah, blah? And you think, was I treating you like blah, blah, blah? I didn't mean to be treating you. I don't think I was doing that. Have you ever had that experience? Or you think somebody is treating you a particular way and you discover they have no clue what you're talking about. We are in this amazing body-mind experience. So we are, in a sense, as we're rising higher, as we're considering these ideas and these practices, what we're doing is we are lifting ourselves up into a higher level of consciousness, into a place where we might discover and access information or connections, or we might draw something into our experience that we never imagined, we never thought could happen to us. Anybody in here ever have an amazing experience that you can't explain? Oops. That was dramatic. Anybody ever have something like that? That's quite a few people. Something that you can't explain, but it lifted you into a different moment, a different experience. This is kind of our resurrection. So I was listening to a Scottish fellow who is a behavioral scientist, I think, and he was talking about wanting to develop his own self-esteem. And so he decided that what he would do, because the brain can't tell the difference between an actual event and an imagined one, is every day before he went to work, for 5 or 10 minutes, he said his issue always was, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. So he said, well, all right, so what I'm going to do every day before I go to work is I'm going to stand and walk around like a person who knows they're enough. If I knew I were enough, how would I stand? How would I interact with people? How would I talk? What would I think about myself? And he just practices that before he starts the day. Now, what he said was, if you do that at the same time, for the same length of time, every day, what begins to happen is that changed posture and thinking begins to get established in your cells, so that you don't anymore, when you go out into the world, have to think about how to be a person who knows they're enough. You automatically take on that posture when you go out into the world. And interestingly, I had a yoga teacher tell me this once, when you stretch your mind, she said, when you stretch your body, yoga teacher, she said, you're also stretching your mind. So if we are practicing I am enough, and it begins to actually lodge in our bodies, that belief, the next thing we know, we suddenly think, I'm okay, I'm enough. Where did that come from? It's in there. It doesn't require effort anymore. It's all habit. The brain supports the habit. So it recreates the habit we've been practicing. Is this making sense, what I'm saying? And I think that, a lot of times we know this, and that's all there is to it. We don't do anything. We just remember that this is the truth, yeah? We think about it, but we don't live from it. So Ernest Holmes said, there is no fear in love, and there is no liberation from fear without love. Fear is always based on the supposition that we're unprotected, rejected, friendless. If the fearful mind would entertain love and the harmony and peace that go with it, then it must turn from everything that denies this love and, trusting in divine guidance, open its being to the influx of love, not just the love of God, but the love of everything. For love is an all-inclusive conception. Many years ago, I was walking on the beach in Hawaii, and I was pondering something, and I was looking down at the sand as I was walking, and I was just turning this over in my mind and thinking about this and pondering these questions. And a fellow I hadn't even noticed came up from the other direction, and he stopped me. And he said, I noticed that you're walking looking down. He said, you should be looking up and around. He said, everything is looking at you. I had never thought about that before, that the ocean, the birds, the trees, the sand, the little shells, the air, the clouds, were all looking at me. Never occurred to me. That is presence and awareness, that presence is right here. You're sitting in your seats and you're looking at me, but guess what? The universe is looking at you and me. The universe is aware of all of it, and we're a part of that. So in a sense, you have an awareness of yourself sitting there in your chair. You're observing yourself too. So the whole universe, including you, is looking at you. But not with judgment, not with comparison, but with delight. This is the message of freedom. It's the message of being forgiven, the message of awareness, and it's the message of home, of belonging in a place like this, where whoever you are, wherever you've come from, you're welcome here. We welcome you, we want you, we enjoy you. So there is this circular activity always going on in creation. We look at plants unfolding like ferns that unfurl. We look at the movement of the stars and the planets and the earth and our own atoms within us, which also have circulation going on. They also have these circular repetitions happening. What we find is just knowing that our true nature is connected with the infinite is not enough. So I would say that people that go to church or go to any spiritual community, for the most part, have this sense of the infinite, whatever it is, and that it exists, and that we're part of it. But we don't feel it, we just know it. We think about it, we know it. But that's not enough, because what kind of sets the universe in motion to support us in moving forward in the next phase of whatever it is we're doing is us. And we set it in motion by making a choice and taking action. Now, once we make the choice and take action, then we activate guidance. It doesn't come unbidden, and it doesn't come just because we're thinking about it. It would be great if it did. It'd be so much easier. But the universe instead responds not to the idea as much as to the action. So when we move in that direction, I want to learn another language. I want to travel to Bali. I want to, whatever it is. the universe begins to respond in that direction when we take an action. And then it begins to provide guidance or surprises or insights or resources or information or ideas. They just seem to present themselves to us. And then we follow that guidance. And so we're going on this path that we can only see a little bit of, and a little bit more guidance appears. As long as we're still moving, as long as we're going forward, then the guidance comes. You know, Winston Churchill said, when you're going through hell, keep going. You know, it's not a permanent lodging place. Keep going. You're not intended to stay there. It's a pass-through. But you can always sit down in misery and anchor yourself there. You could build a condominium there, and the universe will leave you alone. If you choose to do that, you can do that. And if you choose to believe that everything is horrible and bad and desperate and troublesome and more worse is coming, the universe only says yes. That's the only thing it knows how to say. So more opportunity to believe that shows up. Whether it's literally true or not is a different thing. But once it's in us as our experience, then we interpret everything around us as being in alignment with that. So it is our direction. Where we place our attention, where we place our minds, that's where our life is going to go. You know, they used to say to little kids when they were learning to ride a bike, look where you want to go, not at what you're afraid you're going to run into. Because if you look at the trash can over here, when you're trying to make sure you don't run into the trash can, you probably for sure will run into the trash can. Because that's what you're focused on, is what you're looking at. But if you're looking at the path and you're aiming yourself ahead and you're imagining yourself ahead on the path, that's probably where you're going to go. You might fall over, but you're still headed in the right direction. Does this make sense? Yeah? So Emerson, who Ernest Holmes loved reading Emerson. Emerson said, you are an inlet and may become an outlet to all there is in God. All there is, not just good enough, not just making do, but all there is. Let your allness be revealed. Release your inner beauty. Unleash your imprisoned splendor. When we do that, the universe goes, oh, gotcha, and then we get more of that. We get the guidance related to that. So if you want to be healthier physically, and if you want the universe to bring you more good, then hang out in some of that every day. Give the universe a clue. You know the story about the guy in the flood who says, God's going to save me? And somebody comes by in a rowboat and says, the river's rising, please get in. He goes, no, God's going to save me. A little while later, he's now standing on the second floor of his house. The water's up to there. And another guy comes by in one of these big rescue boats with a thing, you know, like the Coast Guard. Come on, sir, we're evacuating everybody. You got to get out. The floodwaters are rising. No, thank you. God will save me. Pretty soon he's standing on the roof. The water's all the way up to the roof. And a rescue helicopter comes by, and they throw the rope ladder down, and they say, sir, climb up. We have to take you out of here. This water is still rising. He says, no, God will save me. Well, he drowns. Gets to heaven. He's standing in front of God, and he says, you disappoint me. I had faith in you. I knew that you were going to save me. What happened? You let me drown. God says, oh, give me a break. I sent 2 boats and a helicopter. What do you want? There's a lot that comes to us that we don't recognize may come out of that infinite, out of that focus of goodness that we're looking toward and looking for. But even if we don't know it, it still comes. It still comes when we've taken the action. So I want to share a little story with you, and I'll wrap it up. I know I'm going long this morning, but it'll be worth it when we get to lunch for sure. So this story was written by a young fellow. He says, the recess bell rang, and kids begrudgingly fell into line to go back to class. I followed suit. Warm spring air brushed against my face. Summer was coming. But first, I had to survive the last few weeks of 4th grade. Oh, what's a few weeks? It's a blip in the annals of time. But for an immigrant kid with at most 10 English words at his disposal, it was an eternity. This was my 2nd week at an American school. I spent the entire recess and the previous 2 weeks in a corner gawking at other kids playing tetherball in the schoolyard, too immobilized by fear and loneliness to even utter a sound. I was quite fascinated with what they were doing and wished that I could, too, join in the fun, but I hadn't dared say a word. While in line, a rogue football ricocheted right off my face. It wasn't the pain inflicted by the football that made me cry. It was the shame over the fact that while I had been hurt, I didn't even have the courage to say, ow. My fear of failure, of making embarrassing mistakes and language gaffes had rendered me lifeless. I froze, and I wept. Tears streamed down my face like a waterfall. I resisted, but to no avail. Kids gathered around to see if I was okay. I couldn't even look at them. That was the defining moment of my childhood, and one that I won't soon forget. It's hard to fathom that the football, for breaking my spirit that day, would change my life. I decided at that point never to let fear be a dam that holds back the river of progress. That summer, I spent every waking hour immersing myself in the English language. While others were swimming and playing baseball and basketball, I was at the library scaring myself with Goosebumps tales and whatever else I could get my hands on. I spent hours in front of the TV watching Sesame Street and other rudimentary children's programming to teach myself the basics. My vocabulary grew exponentially in 3 short months. In the first weeks back from summer, I was taken out of ESL classes, that's English as a second language. I was taken out of ESL classes not because of my newfound knowledge, but because I was confidently engaging with other kids, making mistakes, and laughing about them with my new friends. It was one of the proudest moments of my young life. A few years later, I was placed in an English honors class and haven't looked back since. The lesson here isn't to surround yourself with footballs hoping one will knock some courage or determination or resolve into you. Those qualities exist inside you. It takes a dramatic event sometimes, a close call with death, an accident to a family member, etc., to trigger a change mechanism that allows you to overcome your fears. But why wait until then? And why leave it to fate? You have the power to choose your path, much like I chose mine. Once you cross that hurdle, you may proceed to formulate an attack plan and execute, but you must first choose to do so. Life is a series of decisions and consequences. Sometimes we make the wrong decision. You're bound to make mistakes. So make them often, but in smaller doses, because the biggest mistake you can make is to try to not make any mistakes by doing nothing. We are invited today to engage in our own resurrection, our own coming alive, our own being present. And this is the recognition that we are set free as we choose to be. We are forgiven as we forgive ourselves. We are more aware as we honor awareness everywhere, in everything, in the Mother Earth. And we are blessed with belonging, home, and spiritual family when we choose to engage in it. So make choices, take action, step into this rising higher, and let the universe support you in that circle of life. Namaste, and happy Easter, and happy anniversary.
you.
Thank you all very much. Now let's take a moment to turn within and anchor this in ourselves. In this moment right here and now, I know there's only one. That one presence is everywhere around us and in us. It includes all those who love us and their energies, whether in the body or not. It includes everyone who's ever been part of Golden Gate or has ever been touched by it in any way. It includes all of our friends and relatives. It includes our neighbors, our teachers, our siblings, our friends, our coworkers. It includes our businesses and our learning. Right here, right now, in this moment, it's all present. The omnipotent presence with all power is right here in us as part of that omnipresence. That omniscience, that knowing, is also right here in us, knowing what we need to know right now through us as us. We are all connected in this one. And so right now, I know that everything that comes out for us to eat in our Easter brunch today, every single bite of it, every swallow is already blessed because it is alive with spirit already. Everything on the altar is blessed because it was put together in love and it is a manifestation of the divine. Right here and now, we accept an opening into that great goodness that we are. We breathe into it with greater love and awareness, and we let it become anchored in our awareness, living now from the greater wholeness that, yes, I am enough right now, just as I am. We let this prayer go in great gratitude into that creative law of mind and spirit, and we just let it be so in us. And together we say, and so it is. Please stand and join me for the morning affirmation. As we say together, I am lifted into a higher vibration and resonance today. Wonders I never imagined are revealing themselves. I know there is more good available to me now, no matter what I believed before. I am receptive and welcoming of this good, and so it is. You may be seated. Would the ushers please come forward? This is our sacred giving time. So if you're here with us for the very first time this morning, I want you to know your presence here with us today is your gift. And we're going to bless all of the gifts and offerings together right now, not only the ones that are being given in the room this morning, but all of those that have been given to Golden Gate throughout the past week in any manner at all, as prayers, as loving thoughts, as financial contributions, as service, whatever it's been. We bless it all right now. And if you want to, if you're online and you want to make a donation to Golden Gate this morning, you can text the dollar amount you want to give to the number on the screen, and they will just follow the directions that you get at that point, and that would be wonderful. So I'm going to invite everyone to take your gift, or at least your hand, and place it over your heart now, as we share this offering blessing together by saying, "This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is."
Talking about joy, talking about joy. It's a song by a very joyous gentleman named Stevie Wonder. Is everybody feeling pretty this morning? Everyone's feeling pretty. It's hotter than July. And though the world's full of problems, they couldn't touch us even if they tried. From the streets I hear rhythm. Marley's hot on the box. Tonight there's gonna be a party at the corner of the edge of the block. And don't you know you will be jamming until the break of dawn. You will be jamming until the break of dawn. They want us to join the fighting, but our answer today is to let all our problems, like the breeze through our fingers, slip away. Peace has come to Zimbabwe. Third world's right on the one. Tonight there's gonna be a party, 'cause we've only just begun. And don't you know you will be jamming until the break of dawn. Bet nobody told you that you will be jamming until the break of dawn. Ask me if I'm happy. Well, as a matter of fact, you might say I'm ecstatic, 'cause we all just made a pact. We've agreed to get together, joined as children of Jah. And when you're living in the positive, your destination is the brightest star. And don't you know you will be jamming until the break of dawn. I bet nobody told you that you will be jamming until the break of dawn. You'll be jamming and 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 you will be jamming until the break of dawn. Don't just stop the music, 'cause you will be jamming until the break of dawn. Here we go. Thank you.
Now, all of us here, on behalf of Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, do accept this offering, and we send it out into the world to raise awareness of miracles and appreciation of all that we are, each one of us, and so it is. If you are here for the very first time this morning, there's an information table back here behind this section that's available for you. You can pick up anything there and take it with you. Those are all there for your delight. There are also welcome packets. So we want to encourage you to take a welcome packet, take the blue card out that's inside it, big blue card that says welcome on it, fill it out, and turn it in at that table back there, and hopefully Amanda will be able to give you a book, or somebody back there will be able to give you a book that is our thank you for you being here today and our invitation to you to come back and be with us often in the future. Really nice to see the room all filled up like this today. Also, I want to thank everyone who has, and all of you for bringing food and everything today, but I want to thank everyone who helped set up this morning. And I want to especially draw your attention to the Frost family's altar, which is covered with bunnies. You know, they multiply. So, yes. So I want you to be aware that everything that's edible, so the chocolate bunnies in the gold wrappers, all of the little jelly bean things and candies in all 4 of those little baskets, you're welcome to have any of those that you like. But the actual bunnies, those belong to the Frost family. You're not to take those away with you, okay? So, but please come up and graze. That's what the bunnies are there for. So let's give a hand to everybody that's been involved this morning. And also, we especially want to thank everybody that's going to be involved in setup and takedown for the brunch. And we want to also acknowledge Jai and the guys, the band this morning as well. Only one announcement for you this morning, and that is that our service at the San Francisco Marin Food Bank is coming up, and is going to be Tuesday, May 13th, just for 2 hours from noon to 2 at the warehouse in San Rafael. If you'd like to be a part of that team, because there are a limited number of people that can go, please contact Ellen Nicosia and let her know you'd like to be part of that team for this Tuesday that's coming up in May. And we can help take care of neighbors a little bit by doing that. So now I'd like to invite the practitioners to stand on either side of the room in 2 rows. Actually, that might be a little hard over here on this side, but we'll see. So our practitioners are our sacred ambassadors today. They are really here to see you, to know you, and to enfold you in prayer. So we're going to do what we call a chamber of prayer right now, which means that all of them and I are going to be praying at the same time, but not in unison. So just allow the words, even if you can't tell exactly what we're saying, allow the words to flow over you and take them into your heart. This is a blessing for your highest good. And so it is. Please stand and join us now for the closing blessing and song. So we say this together. I now walk, so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God. And whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness. For spirit and all people and I are one eternally, and so it is. Here we go.
So I just like to say that I wrote I Love Myself the Way I Am 47 years ago, and I've always performed it as a slow ballad, which is the way I wrote it. But this is the first time in 47 years we're going to do it as an up-tempo reggae song. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable, oh yeah, of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you just the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. Oh, and I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'm gonna help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. Oh, I love myself just the way I am. Just the way I am.